Aloha. Aloha, aloha, aloha. Welcome back to the Real Trash Podcast, everybody. Thank you for being back on another Real Trash Podcast episode with me. And yeah, aloha. Welcome. Everybody is welcome to my channel. We are here. The Real Trash Podcast is all about trashy subjects. Yes, trashy subjects from politics to Disney news to my daily life and how my daily life is going. And also there is celebrity news too, um, and trashy celebrity news here on here too. So yeah, in the daily life is usually my weekly update and how my week has been through the week. So you get to be here with me and I get to ramble for you on trashy subjects, and they might be some off topic too, not just trashy subjects, but um yeah, so how my week has been. And you get to be the counselor and I get to be the patient. And how about that? Isn't that awesome that you get to be the counselor for one? um, and yeah, so welcome. My first and the biggest topic I talk about on this podcast, I talk about disabilities. And that is the biggest topic and the biggest thing I like to talk on this podcast every time I come on here. I'm proud to tell people about um, my disability that I've had. Why am I saying I had? I have. 1998, I was diagnosed right out of my mom's little belly. I was diagnosed with hard of hearing. So yeah, and I don't hear the same as everybody else, and that's why I use hearing aids to hear what everybody else is um, saying. And then I know sign language. I learned that at a very young age too, and that's a good way to communicate with deaf people, and deaf people cannot hear at all. And so that's the way we communicate with sign language. Just in any other kind of language, if you're in a Spanish fluent uh, language and you need to know that Spanish speaking, Hispanic language, then you speak Hispanic to another Hispanic, right? It's the same thing as speaking sign language to that person, the same thing. And then, yes, um, we're still trying to, well, I was diagnosed with autism in 2014. And yeah, so I'm on the autistic spectrum too. So that was diagnosed later on in my life. And yeah, so that's really cool too. And then also, yeah, I have learning disabilities. So I'll have to do certain things to learn better in school. So if that's from the class to into my testing area at school, or even from out of class, from tutoring, certain scenarios to make sure that I succeed at my job or whatever it is at my school. Yeah, so welcome, 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 and hi. I forgot to introduce one more thing. Welcome to this podcast, the Real Trash Podcast. We welcome everybody onto this podcast. I just see my intro that's coming up. Yes, we welcome everybody. If you know, you know, even the LGBTQ plus community. Yes, we welcome everybody on this podcast. Everybody's welcome. And yeah, I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii. So what an exciting thing that born and raised from Honolulu, Hawaii. And Asian too. Is it even better? That's even better. Chinese, Japanese. So that's really cool too. So yeah, Asian descent, Hawaiian descent, and really cool. Okay, so let's get into this podcast today and let's do it. You ready to rumble? Yes, yes. And this podcast episode this week is for last week's podcast episode. Usually I like to do a Sunday episode and post it on Sunday. So usually the week, so we're going to talk about the week before. So that would be the week of December the 7th through the 1st. So yeah, we are going to be talking about this podcast episode since I haven't gotten to upload it yet. So let's get into it. And yeah, I hope that you like this episode today. Let's do this. Well, welcome. It is so exciting to be with you guys again on another Real Trash podcast episode. This last week, I cannot believe we are in the first week of December already. We're getting closer and closer to Santa Claus coming to town. Oh my goodness. Isn't that exciting? Yes! Who is excited out there? Are you excited? Are you excited? Are you excited? Yes! Yes, and it is Melancholy Kimaka is a thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. That's the island greeting that we send to you from the land where palm trees sway. You know that Christmas will be green and bright and turning on the every Sunday happy night. Melikaliki is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. Yes, this is the month of the Melancholy Maka month. And yes, we are doing the previous week. So the first week of December, we're doing a podcast episode today. And then we will do another one during the week too. So yeah, let's talk about last week. And how was last week? Woo! Last week was a lot of twists and turns. And yeah, I think last week, what did I do last week? I'm trying to think because it feels like it was a blur last week. Actually, maybe it was. Yeah, so I got to see my friend last week. So that was my best friend. So that was really nice to be able to see her again, my deaf friend, Judith. Um, on Sunday, I got to see her, so I really didn't get to do the podcast episode. I been like last week was just like I was very tired. Um, don't you ever feel like sometimes you're just so tired that you can't do something sometimes, right? And or it's just the exhaustion of um, just certain things, right? And we have to, but we have to deal with it sometimes, and oh, all the time. Let's just say that we have to deal with these things all the time because it doesn't go away, and people think that problems are just going to go away if you just sit in the bed and just doze off every single day. And that's not every single day, but last week almost every single day. So I was like, oh my God, thank goodness I have a best friend to talk to. Just to, you know, I learned this technique last week, and I have to watch it again. But she does this breathing technique, and so I tried that because my chest was like a little tight up here, because of the stress. And I think some people might have that. I don't know. Maybe it is stress. I don't know what it is. But yeah, so that was my week. And then there was other things that had happened during that week. But I really think that I'm going to go into, this is a trashy subject that I want to go into. And I think that everybody should know this, that we are human beings, right? And trying to use substances, or trying to avoid a daily life, or avoid daily things maybe in your past, or avoid things that are in right now in your life. And trying to avoid those things sometimes may not be the best thing, right, to do. And something, I don't know, it's pretty trashy to avoid some of the things maybe in your past, or in your um, right now in your present, um, to just think it's okay, and use drugs, or other marijuana, weed, or whatever it is you do, alcohol, I don't know, whatever to use to take that pain away. And I think that's really trashy that people have to do that. And I feel really bad that that has to happen. Um, because, like, the next day, you've done that, or the day before you've done that, and you've done whatever, weed, for example, and then the next day you got to come back and you got to deal with these problems again. If you think that's going to help the cause, it doesn't, because it comes back and you have to deal with things again, right? Um, so yeah, so it's just very complicated, I think, and I think that's a trashy subject to talk about, because let's just say it's trashy that people have to numb that feeling of, yeah, we have to face these fears, or face these um, obstacles, or face these um, things in life, right? And that's even from gambling, or alcohol. And I talk about this all the time in some of my podcast episodes. And that might even be from technology addiction. It depends on what you're doing, right? Um, so right now, it's just, I think with me personally, let's say, that week was very trashy for me. Um, and like I said, I'm dealing with a lot of things, and I think this whole year it's been a lot of turmoils, and upside downs, and ups and downs in your life. And so it's just been really tough year for me. And hopefully next year will be better. Um, but yeah, but luckily I have people in my life that put a little more light into your life, right? A little light into your life, if that's your friend, or other people that you talk to um, in life, that, um, you know, it can be from events, or from group events, or like anything like that. Concert, maybe you met them at a concert, or maybe you met them at the club. Um, I think it just depends on what it is. But yeah, so last week, yeah, I think I didn't really do that much last week. Um, Sunday, I had a little thing with my best friend. I got to see Anthony, so that was really awesome. He's walking all over the place. He walked, and I was trying to hold him I kept on holding him like, oh my God, he's gonna fall, But I forgot. I'm like, oh yeah, he can walk. My best friend, I was like, yes, he can walk now. So I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I forget, So sometimes I forget, like I feel like he's gonna fall, but then I'm like, oh yeah, he has to learn and he has to learn his own way. So I forgot all about that. Thank goodness she told me about that. Yeah. So yeah, it's just been a turmoil, and then I have to think about Christmas. Mele Kalikimaka's coming up, and those things are coming up now. So yeah, it's almost the end of the year too, and that's exciting because I need to get out of 2024, but also I'm not ready to start 2025 either because, we have a new president coming to elect into office and yeah, you know how I feel about that, right? You know how I feel about that? Let me, do you know how I feel about that? Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, so that's been difficult. And then, I have to do appointments that I've missed. That's exhausting. Like, I think just some of these crucial appointments that I was talking to my counselor about, that some of these appointments are just so exhausting. Or I think I just get afraid to do some of these appointments because who knows, right? And I think it's better to do it anyways, but like, why are some of these appointments so early in the morning? Like, some people don't want to be up early in the morning, some people do. um I like to be up early in the morning, so it's just my sleep schedule is like differs every week. And then, thinking about my card, thinking about a lot of stuff you got to think about through my life. And yeah, let me go see if I have anything to talk about on this week. But it hasn't been like very exciting this week. That week, I was thinking about when am I gonna get my food stamps and oh, you know what? My mom got sick with COVID and influenza, flu. Geez, and then the bird flu was around. The bird flu's around, and I hope. Oh, jeez. I hope you guys are staying well and healthy. And those are trashy things, that my mom got a little sick, but we talked about this too, and I think I'm gonna leave it on this note, and then we'll go into another episode this weekend. Maybe there'll be surprise guests this week, or maybe we'll be together again by ourselves. Who knows? um, but yeah, we talked about this, and she talked about it too, and my mom and we talked about it, and we said, yes, the vaccines work. Okay. I want people to know that there's been people in the world, and I know there's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories and theorists that are out there in the world that want to switch your mind to make you feel like this is not true. But yes, there's a lot of diseases out there, a lot of diseases and sicknesses, and the shots, the COVID shots, the just all the shots that you've had in your life have saved your life to be able to not get sick. You may get sick, but not as bad. And so that's what we realize. And, you know, and eventually they get better. The shots because they're around. There's diseases and sicknesses around, and yeah. So I want people to really think about this kind of stuff. And I think in the next 4 years, this is going to be very crucial. And after the next 4 years, and before it continues after the next 4 years too. It continues through your life, and I hope people take a better consideration on this, because I know there's going to be a lot of trashy subjects with this president coming up that are going to come up, and you're going to get triggered, and you may get triggered by the conspiracy theorists and the theories, and we need to stay strong, okay? And please take your vaccine and your shots. And yes, so have a great one. I'll see you later. I know this one was boring this week, but I'm happy. And we're almost done with the year, almost to Christmas. And yeah, so I hope you have a great one. And thank you for watching my YouTube channel, my podcasts, to my reels on my YouTube channel. And yeah, thank you so much for being here on another podcast episode with me, Real Trash Podcast episode. Fans out there, and I hope to see you on the next Real Trash Podcast episode. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Please go watch it on the Real Trash Podcast. Yes, please subscribe to that. And go like these episodes too. And I will see you on the next Real Trash Podcast. Have a good one. And sorry, this one's kind of boring. Or I don't know if it is boring to you. But let's throw this one in the trash, everybody. This week. Trash. Woo! Put it in the trash, right? Dang. But one thing we don't put in the trash is the vaccines, right? We take care of ourselves. We stay healthy out there. And at the end of my videos, my YouTube videos, or my Real Trash Podcast, what do I say at the end of it? If you are a true fan, you'll know what I say. What do I say? Always be yourself, Ohana Angels. The Real Trash Podcast fans too. So have a good one, and I will see you on the next Real Trash Podcast. Love y'all. Bye. See you later. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.